Welcome to Love You Bro podcast. I am your host, Jude and back 2 weeks in a row with my baby brother.
3 weeks in a row, my guy.
3 weeks. My bad.
3 weeks in a row, man.
We had some downtime there.
You got on me on pay no mind list? 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row. What it do?
Man, listen, bro, we got so much to talk about, man. So much to be thankful for. We got to talk about, boy, we got Royals playoffs we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into all that. We've all been watching and paying attention to that. Hence why we got the Royals gear on today. You know me. My brother's the one that's always flying out with the fly clothes and fly stuff. I'm always the dude in the hat, sweatshirt, hoodies, and sports stuff. But that's been me my whole life.
Amen. Yeah, that's what's up.
Bro, we got so much to talk about. We're going to dive into the Royals. We're going to dive into the Chiefs 4-0 start, the injuries, which, God, man, I'm telling you, we talked a lot. When we first started doing this podcast, bro, we talked a lot about the only thing that could derail this team was injuries. And I heard a guy on 810 today and kind of shout out to Seren Petro because this guy called in and he was like talking about, Mahomes and Mahomes just look like crap and all this stuff. And Petro's like, I know we got to find something to talk about, but he's like, name another team in the NFL that can lose their number one wide receiver, number two wide receiver, number one running back, number two running back. We've got some stuff going on, and they just keep finding a way to win. So we'll dive into that. But right now, bro, first time in 10 years, man, we get to wear the Royals gear. We get to sport it. Royals are in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's huge. And how they, and it wasn't how everyone wanted it as far as like when they Friday night, it kind of knew when that whole hurricane, and thoughts and prayers out to all those people affected by the hurricane. That was a very serious thing. And it's sad for so many people, but that whole thing switched up because we weren't supposed to face Freed. We weren't supposed to face Sale.
Right.
And when that happened, my demeanor was like, oh shit, man, this is like, you're facing some absolute dogs. And Friday night, I was like, there's no way Singer does. And Singer hung in there, gave up 2 runs, quality start. But Freed was filthy.
Yeah.
That's, once again, it's kind of levels up from being playing to get into playoff baseball. And Freed was right. Pinpoint. And we couldn't do anything against him. But
shut our water off.
But they're in the locker room celebrating. And what happens is Minnesota goes and does what Minnesota's been doing the last month of the season.
Right.
And, so we get in, but it was awesome to see him celebrate. It was awesome to see Coach Q. They're so excited. It was awesome to see Salvi in the clubhouse and that smile and just what it means to the city. And I'll say this: I don't think the city has embraced it enough until tomorrow first pitch because the Chiefs have been so good and we've been so awesome, including myself.
Right.
But I'm so stoked. It's the night before, and I was kind of thinking about it today myself and like how it's set up where you go Ragans game 1, 2, you're throwing Lugo, and then you come, if there's a game 3, Waka.
Right.
And what's awesome is you drop Singer to the bullpen, Lorenzo to the bullpen. Singer will add another tick to his fastball, if not 2. And if he's hitting that slider, that's really difficult.
I mean, look. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, but you and I talked about the bullpen earlier. Man, look what Bubic has done. Like Bubic he's picked up a little bit more velocity coming out of the pen, throwing 1 inning, maybe 2, but mainly just an inning. He's picked up more of his velocity.
Been phenomenal. Bro.
Lynch has been good, but Bubic's been lights out, bro.
I mean, and getting to me personally regarding the Royals, the biggest news is that Vinny's going to play. I'm telling you right now, he's going to play, and he's going to be a DH. He's going to be a DH, or even if he doesn't start, he's a bat off the bench, and a 60%, 70% Vinny I will take every day and twice on Sundays.
So do you take? I know they're going to have to take some guys off the roster. Do you think Guddio? You take Guddio off?
No, he's going to make the roster, bro. That guy's got big. If you're the me part of it, it's Garrett Hampson. That guy doesn't bring anything to the table. Hampson,
right?
Hampson. He came over. Respect. He came over. He was a tough guy with the Rockies, and when he went, the Marlins, he was the guy. But you don't need that element now because everything shrinks as far as like Massey is your starting second baseman, your third baseman, Mikel struggles at the plate, and I'm not sold on him, bro. But they're going to start him at third. So DeYoung's off the bench. They love Frazier. I'm not
Dude,
a huge Frazier
but that's
guy.
a veteran bat, though, man. That's a veteran
But me,
stick.
Paulie DeYoung, who has 26 home runs, 27 home runs, is a guy that needs to see at bat before him.
For sure.
Because that guy can, and he's got postseason experience. So for me, but Hampson does not need to be in the bench.
Was it against the Nationals or the Braves that Frazier came off? We needed some runs late. There
It was the Nationals,
two guys on, two out. They brought Frazier off the bench.
Gary L's going to start at first, bro.
And he singled up the middle, drove in two. I like Frazier's stick from his experience and postseason play. With the Yankees. I like Frazier off.
But back to that though, Gary L at first, at 40 years old, still plays a nice first base. That dude can still, and he can hit a little bit. And you slide him down the lineup because right now, if you're talking about it, they'll lead off Fam. Fam. At 2, Witt. At 3, Vinny comes right in. Salvi at the 4, and then at 5 you play around with that, and probably Massey, and then it's Renfroe, whatever you do. So you slide Gurriel down the lineup, and it's like obviously Isabel's hitting 9. But bro, it lines up really, really nice. It sucks because I won't be able to watch as intently because I've got to work. And the 3 o'clock first pitch, but I'll be there every bit of the way.
I love the lineup though, bro. With like I said, with Renfroe because he brings you some experience there. If Gurriel in there, Gurriel brings you that game experience. Guys that have played in the playoffs, guys that have played in the World Series, those guys make a difference come October. The lights get a little bit brighter. I went by you know me, bro. I got to buy the gear, right?
Yeah.
So I go by Rally House earlier today. Sold out of all the postseason hats, all the postseason T-shirts, and they're like, not sure when we're going to get more in. And that goes back to what you just said earlier. I don't think this city's really embraced like the Royals are going to be in the playoffs. I think even guys like us that were watching every day and on the phone. I'm driving, and I'm like, and Jessica's like, will you please put your phone down and not be driving? And there's sometimes shouldn't be doing that, but I'm picking up because I'm looking to see where they're at, what score the game is, what's going on with the game. And I don't think the city's embraced the Royals yet, but I think tomorrow, I'm curious. I want to call my boy, shout out to my boy Eric Coombs over at Mosaic. We do a lot of stuff with him over there. I'm wondering if they're going to do the.
He's my guy.
I'm wondering if they're going to do the living room there. You remember how they had the watch parties there?
Yeah.
Before?
You know what? I'm sure they. I'm sure they will.
Why would they not?
I'm sure they will. I just, and it's funny because they were talking about in 14, and so many people then, like me including, it's like it's a play-in, but it's not really the playoffs. It didn't have that feel until they beat Oakland. But even that game, and a lot of people on social media were talking about it recently, and they're like, "What were you doing?" It's like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was so pissed, and we were getting bombed. I'm like, we're done.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, we're done. Like,
who was the lefty throwing for Oakland that was shutting our water off? He shut it off for like 6, 7 innings, and then we got to him in the 8th.
Oh, he couldn't throw. He couldn't.
I can't remember
his pickoff move.
His pickoff. They were still.
Yes, it was trash.
Like 3-2. They were just.
It was trash.
They were running on
Donaldson. I mean, that was a great team. Donaldson.
Josh Johnson the third.
Yeah, and the guy that came over for us and played right field the following year, he was playing left field. All that shit. But until, like they said, this is October baseball though. Tomorrow's October 1st. You're playing October 1st. It's big time. It's like, and I love the young kids. And literally, to me, Bobby Witt Jr. has a chance to take the country by storm.
He does.
Like he has.
He does.
And mind it, he's not. And you're still, even at 60%, Vinny, if he's going to play, you still make, until he proves that he's back, you still make Bobby beat you.
Right.
So I don't know if he's going to see a ton, but he has a time to shine and dazzle with his glove and dazzle with his stick, and just like right now, it's awesome, and I can't wait, man. I'm so stoked to watch, to follow, to.
I think the part that excites me the most, bro, is I played a lot of baseball in my time. I played a lot of baseball. Nothing on these type of stages, but played a lot of baseball to know. And you've been around because you were around a lot of our stuff. Even when we played men's fast pitch softball, you the teams that are close, guys that love playing together, are teams that really produce when it comes games on the line, postseason, big tournaments, and you always wanted to see the teams that were close, man, that were close-knit guys. So seeing how close this Royals team is, you can already kind of see kind of a sparkle in some of the guys' eyes as far as like, we might be getting Vinny back. Like Vinny's going to be back. Dude, he's huge in that locker room. Those guys love him, man.
Absolutely.
And he was driving in runs. He was driving in runs.
He was third in the American League with 94 RBIs. And that dude was hitting the shit out of the ball. I mean, he was. I mean, that's a guy that, and I love the other night, I stayed up and listened to, because I didn't have it on TV, but listened to Vern, his post game, and I fucking love Vern. He's awesome, man. He's so good. But
that's the show out right to the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. He is amazing. No. He's 6'10".
The other station?
Yeah, he's 6'10". So, but Pham was like, he was on, he goes, just such a veteran, that's why he's a big leaguer, that's why who he is. Everyone loves playing with him. He was like, if I can get my bat going, that's scary with Bobby Witt behind me. And if he does get it going,
100.
If he gets it going, and just a big league. But the defense they played the other night, where Pham was in right, made plays that he usually doesn't make, where he's going against the wall, making plays.
That was the time you called me. You said you and Kraft were talking about that play he made in right field to the warning tracks on the wall.
Yes, and that it's like, and Kraft's like, dude, you don't know how incredibly difficult that play is.
Yeah.
Like, and the ball's tailing away from you, and you're following it, where he's going into the wall, getting it. Like, it looks like, that's a hard play, but it's like, that is such a hard play. I
played outfield, like I said, and even playing outfield in high school, because obviously you're deeper out there, smaller ball. But even fast pitch, bro, when those right-handers are hitting and they hit and you're in right field, and that ball, it looks like it starts coming off this way, right? So you take a look, see the ball, and that thing starts coming this way, and fading back over your head towards that corner. Bro, those are tough, man. Those are no joke, bro. Those are no joke.
On this topic, and obviously I'm so incredibly stoked about the Royals and can't wait. Rest in Pete Rose, man. Pete Rose, a legend, man. He was one of my. That's a dude I emulated in the backyard when I was a little kid. When you'd get those like helmets. You would be an asshole and smack on top of my fucking head. Those, because there were brown things that would hurt the fuck out of your head.
They had those little things that stuck out of the head. The deal that went around your head.
Yeah,
those little brown things
you can adjust it.
And they had those little
but if you smacked the top of your head, it would, man, and that would hurt. But I used to and like fake slide head first, and he was just such a legend, man. The baseball is so fucking stupid. He should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what he did, what he didn't do.
I don't either. Hall of Fame, Pete Rose.
And he's a great, rest in Pete Rose. And
I never, you saw me play all my years playing, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see me slide anything different besides head first?
Yeah.
And Dad hated it. He was always like, they're going to step on your hands. They're going to tear your fingers up. You're a pitcher. Every time. Home plate, anywhere. I was always sliding head first because of Pete Rose, man.
Yeah. He's a legend, man. Rest in Pete.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pete. Pete Rose, man. The legend.
Raise one
number
up for
14.
Pete, man.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, 14. Yeah. Rest in peace, 14.
For sure. Rest in peace,
man. That guy was a superstar.
Yeah, man. So the playoffs, and it's all lined up, man. It's, and what's crazy is if, and it's a huge if we advance, like, we would go to the Bronx. And our nephew.
Can you imagine Royals Yankees playoffs, bro?
Royals Yankees
what it would
playoffs. It would stir up
baseball gods. Come on, baseball gods.
It would stir up all of that stuff that people, younger, they hear about it, but you don't know the hate and disdain you have for the evil empire and in the Bronx and the pinstripes and like.
Back in the day, in the late 70s, they would rip our house out every year, man. It was Chris Chambliss at first, Willie Randolph at second, Mickey Rivers in center, Nettles at third. Chris Chambliss, Reggie Jackson in right.
Dave Winfield.
Winfield. But there was, dude, it was.
It was a couple weeks ago. When we were in the Bronx, and it was Saturday night, and of course, once again, baseball's so fucked and so stupid that they wouldn't show us MLB Network's like
version of the game. Yeah,
and it was Costas calling it, and I'm like, dude. When I was seeing, I'm like, dude, how dope is this? Costas is going to be calling. He's going to be calling the game, and they had before the game, they had all of this really cool old shit they were bringing up, Royals, Yankees, and sliding into Bucky Dent and all of that shit. The umpires with the maroon jackets.
Yeah, the maroon,
the AL,
and the turtlenecks. They wore the turtlenecks and the maroon jackets.
Dude, so dope. Yes. I was so stoked. I'm like, this is going to be so, and it's Costas. Costas is baseball.
Yeah.
Since I was a young kid, Costas calling October baseball was where it's at. Him and Al Michaels. And as soon as the game started, they went to some busted ass like Nationals, Orioles, whatever. Stupid game was. And I'm like, dude, you're going to deprive Kansas City and New York fans of hearing that, because that is a rivalry. Once again, and the Yankees are Yankees. They're the evil empire. They're the I mean, the pinstripes. Never forget that movie. Catch Me If You Can, when Leonardo's old man, who was one of my favorite actors ever, when he was like, do you know why the Yankees win? And he's like, no, he's like, because they can't stop staring at the uniforms and the pinstripes. And it's true. Like it's like the Yankees and Yankee. I mean, the Bronx, dude, that's a different beast. That's a different.
I've been blessed to be there. I've been blessed to watch games in both stadiums.
Absolutely. And there's something about it, man, that you go there and you're like, I see why this is who they are. I see why it's
my all-time favorite. And I don't want to talk about the Yankees, man, because I want our Royals. I want to go back into something about the starting rotation. But in New York, man, I would go. You remember, I went a lot. My dude was number 2. The captain, man. I mean, watching Derek Jeter and what he did in the Yankees uniform, that really, really made me love the Yankees.
Sure.
Jeter, one of my favorite all-time players.
Yeah.
But bro, let's go and talk just a few minutes here about MLB Network and ESPN, baseball at night, late shows. Bro, those shows are saying, they're like, I don't know if the Royals get the sticks going with who they're throwing on the mound. I don't know if you're a team out there being like, I want to play the Royals. And maybe you do, because
I don't think anyone's scared of them.
No, I'm not saying scared of them. I'm not saying scared of them. But bro, we've watched it before. And that year that we beat the A's in 14, I will never forget. I was talking again, Eric Combs, Mosaic, and talking to Eric, and Eric's like, bro, we're doing this thing in the living room here, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget, there were some friends of mine came in, and we had a little table right along the deal outside of Mosaic, watching the big screen there. And we had, vodka and stuff. We're all hanging out and watching them. And everybody's like, oh, like the Angels won, 99 and whatever, best team, number one seed. And it was just like every time Moustakas hit a homer, every time, Moustakas, every time Hosmer, and all of a sudden you just see the Angels just start tightening up. They start tightening up because it's like, we can't lose to these guys. We beat them 8 times. We beat them 7 times during the season. So I'm not saying anybody's scared of us. I'm just saying, as it goes on, if you get Reagan's that starts off tomorrow afternoon, and Reagan starts going that fourth, or whatever.
I like to call them Reagan's. It's probably Reagan's.
That's you call them.
But yes.
But if he goes that first 5 or 6, though, that lineup starts tightening up a little bit, like, hey, it's 1-0 or it's 2-1 in the 7th. Here comes their bullpen. That's when you sneak and you steal a game. Nobody's scared of us.
And I will say this, and it's obviously receipts because we're doing this, but to me personally, tomorrow, who wins game 1 will win the series. It's going to be, to me, I'll say it now. We'll come back next week and we'll be like,
I don't necessarily say that, because Reagan's could throw a great game tomorrow. We could lose 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
Well,
and you come back with Lugo on Wednesday.
Yeah, but once again, it puts a little bit more pressure
for sure.
And the sticks, they tighten up a little bit more. So tomorrow, because especially for the Royals, with this stupid format, who I don't know who came up with this stupid shit. Once again,
MLB.
It's stupid shit. But if the Royals win game 1, you have one of two. If they lose tomorrow, they're not going and winning. They're not winning 2 or 3 on the road.
But I'm telling you what though, if Reagan's goes and throws his ass off tomorrow and they beat Baltimore,
that's what I just said.
I know, if they do that, Baltimore's going to pucker up on Wednesday. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And you come back with Lugo.
That's what I'm saying. Tomorrow, it's not some bold statement. It's not some like, oh my God, you're Jeff Passan. But I'm saying tomorrow, for me personally, whoever wins game 1 of the 3-game series tomorrow is the winner and will advance and go to the Bronx. Yep. So I'm stoked. Can't wait, man. I'm like, I won't be able to sleep tonight just because I'm so stoked. Like I am beyond.
I got to go find my Royals postseason out 2024. When we leave here tonight, I'm going to go on the MLB thing to see if I can overnight one of the postseason hats.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about, the pitching matchup and stuff. Coming up, we talked about, Ragan's going tomorrow. And I think I want to reiterate to like our listeners and say what you brought up was so important, because we have a really cool guest we're going to bring on. I'm going to get to that in a second. But that you talked about, you think whoever wins game 1 is going to be the team that wins the series.
Yep.
And
Me personally, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you're so right, bro, because if Reagans goes and gets that one tomorrow, I think you will see Baltimore tighten up. Like you said, nobody's scared of us, and I'm not saying that at all. But the thing I like about this team is how close they are and how it compares to the 14-15 team. This team is so close. They love playing with one another. And to see Vinny, taking BP today and to know that's a possibility of him coming back in that lineup, bro, that is so huge with the way that team loves to play together. Dude, Vinny ends up in the lineup tomorrow night, and Reagans goes and steals game one. I'm telling you right now, Baltimore's in trouble.
Yeah, and I just, for me with Vinny, you saw him celebrating, and he was such a huge part of them being in this position in the first place.
Absolutely.
Like, it's everything. But yeah, I mean, to me, tomorrow, game one is the most important. Like, if they can beat Burns in game one, I think, once again, one of two, yes, absolutely.
It goes and reminds you of what they did in Anaheim in 2014 when they got that first game, and all of a sudden you start this game two or whatever, and then you go and you have Moustakas, and then you have Hosmer hit those deep bombs on the right field. Then you start seeing the Angels players look around like we might be in trouble, man. Like we might. 100%. These dudes are believing they can be.
And those kids like this, and like I said, I compare them a lot. I think they have a lot of similarities, but those kids were so hungry in 14, 15. Like they were not going to be beat.
No.
I mean, they were not going to be beat. It wasn't something that was like they were playing with house money essentially. Right. What we thought, but their mentality with that team it wasn't house money. It was their fucking money.
Right.
Like it was their money. Like it was, so it wasn't house money. But yeah, the similarities. But the guess and bless his heart, man. He's one of Mom's favorites, one of my favorites, one of the best center fielders to ever roam that giant center field at Kauffman is Lorenzo Cain. Yeah. And the fact that he can call up from Turks and Caicos on vacation,
on family vacation, man. Yeah, a family vacation with his family.
It's big time.
We got to thank D-Bonds because part of what we get to do, bro, and we get to do with this that we love so much when we first started talking about this is the 20 years of being able to be in primetime assistance and primetime transportation to do the things that we've had to do, the relationships we've made and we've built with our players, with families, with guys like D-Bonds and Christy Guy, people that are in this world every day. Reached out to D-Bond. D-Bond's like, hey, man, let me reach out to some of my guys. And so with further ado, man, we're getting ready to bring on, I know he's getting ready to call in right now, man, but Lorenzo Cain, six, man. Lorenzo Cain. So let's get ready to welcome Lorenzo Cain to the
Six. What it do? What it do? Six.
Chop it up with him a little bit. Man, welcome to Love You Bro podcast. Hey, fellas, we want to we're going to bring on a super special guest tonight, man. My man's calling in all the way from a family vacation. He's out of the country. Lorenzo Cain, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you guys having me, man. It's always a blast. Let me tell you.
Hey, Six, appreciate you big time. Before we start off, I'm going to tell you, my mama, she passed away, but you were her favorite. She said she loved your smile. She loved your smile, thought you were so handsome, loved the way you played the game. You were her guy. And she said she would, no matter what was going on, she wanted to see Six in center. And I was like, she'd be like, look at him. Look what he does. Look at him. So we love the way, my family loves the way you played the game, the passion, and the enjoyment. You brought that little kid element with absolute being a dog in center. Thank you so much for giving us your time. So appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, first foremost, I'm sorry to hear that, but hey, I appreciate that because that's always something that I enjoy doing. Bringing smiles to people's faces, and you know how I go about business on field, so it's always a blast for sure.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: so like a night like tonight, so when you guys were going in 14, a night like tonight, before you guys were getting to play in the playoffs, what's that like? Lo? Like, what's that like? How's that? How's
it's special, man. It really is. Like I said, my favorite times of the season are the opening day and the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely.
So those are the best times of the season.
Absolutely. So do you have a hard time sleeping at night, or is it like, no, it's go time, I'm going to get my rest, I'm going to get to the stadium early and do my thing?
Yeah, it was always, I never slept well, throughout my career. I was so focused, on the grind, and I've always enjoyed going out there and, giving my best effort on the field, not only for myself and my family, but my teammates as well. So it's always a good time when we can go out there and get get in the playoffs and try to make special things happen and bring a championship to Kansas City. It's always a good time.
Sure.
So Lorenzo, in 14 and 15, you guys obviously had some great series, and I know winning the World Series is probably your favorite. But in the playoffs and the divisional and the championship series in 14 or 15, was there a team that you loved beating more than the other? Was there a more special series in ALDS and ALCS in 14 and 15?
I wouldn't really point to one team, like I say, once you get in, you just want to dominate any and everybody. So,
Right.
like I say, it was a pleasure. I had a good group of guys that I played with. So it was always a pleasure coming to the park and playing with those guys and taking the field with that group. So, like I say, it wasn't really a particular team. I would say throughout the regular season, though, I did enjoy beating up on, any Chicago team. So that was always a pleasure to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And explain a little bit of your relationship, because it was so good with Salvi and how much enjoyment you still have him out there. And they had some clips of him, and that smile's the same like yours. You look like if you didn't have Royals cap on right now, I think he was running out to take some fly balls tonight. So you guys had that relationship, whether he was trying to rub on your head or low K rain or mucho rain, that relationship you had with him. And still have.
Yeah, it was special, man. Like I said, I wasn't a big social media guy, and I think that's kind of I don't know when all that Instagram and stuff came out, but we kind of took off. He would record me and pester me. I think he always looked at me as kind of the big brother in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
So like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the camera. I always I kind of shied away from the camera, away from attention, because I was always about business once I stepped on that field. But also I tried to have a good time, not only in the clubhouse but on the field as well. So it was a pleasure, man, playing with Sal. Every time I come back to Kansas City and I see him, and it's always a good time. So man, that team in general, the chemistry, the bond that we had, it was just overall just special, man. It really was.
Absolutely. Do you see any familiarities right now with this squad that's playing right now? And to me, I say, and once again, I'm a fan, watch from outside, but you guys in 14 and 15 seem like you guys love playing together and played for one another. And I see that similarities with this squad, loving each other, playing for one another, and don't care if you go 0 for 3, but the guy behind you goes 3 for 4 and gets those ribbons and gets that, everything's good.
Right, I agree. It's a lot of similarities, actually. It's that motto that we have. Keep the line moving. Pick the guy up. If the guy didn't get it done in front of you, you try to come behind him as a teammate and pick him up. So, like I said, we had guys that with big names, but we didn't look at each other that way. We all competed as a group. We treated each other as we were all the same caliber players, and it was just that motto of keeping the line moving. So just playing with that group of guys, man, and the similarities between us and this group is very similar. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
As far as sneaking in there and getting in there. So I'm excited to see what they do. Hopefully they can get in there, get the job done, and go far.
Sure.
And I wish I was there right now. We kind of, the timing of this trip is kind of terrible, because I definitely would have been in KC right now.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to. Hopefully they can advance and make it far, so I can get back there and go to a few games for sure.
Absolutely. And listen, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, so Lorenzo, I want to ask you a question. In 14, you guys had, you guys beat Oakland, and then you guys went to that series in Anaheim. And I was just talking to Jamie a few minutes ago, and I said, with Reagan's on the bump tomorrow, you will see, I think, and obviously I'm asking you because you were a pro, you were there, how much would Baltimore, do you think, kind of tighten up a little bit if Reagan's goes and beats them tomorrow, the Royals get that first game under their belt? How much does Baltimore kind of tighten up on that second game?
Oh yeah, 100%. They like I said, it's about going out there getting the job done. Going out there competing and getting that first game, I think is huge. It's not life and death, but it's huge. Going out there competing and getting that first game, it's a confidence booster, man. Not a morale booster for your team and the coaches, the fans, everybody involved. And like I said, once you go out there and steal that game, magic happens, great things happen. So like I said, I think they can go out there and compete. Like I said, they don't have I feel like they have a few big names, but overall I feel like they got a group of guys that just want to go out there and get the job done and compete with each other and go out there and do special things. So like I said, I'm excited to see what they do. And once again, I know the timing of this trip is terrible, so I'll reiterate that again.
No.
But I'm trying to get back there as soon as possible, so
absolutely.
I can get back there and catch a few games.
So absolutely. So Lorenzo, with that being said, man, thank you so much. I know you're family time right now, and that's big time. So thank you for coming on with us and sharing yourself and that smile. Like I said, my mama's she's smiling down at you right now, smiling at us. So hey, there's little man. What's good with it? There he is.
Hey, what's up, man? Hi, this is my middle one right here. This is Jaden.
What's up, Jaden? Jaden looking clean, I tell you that.
Hi.
What's up, Jaden?
You gonna say hi to everybody?
Hi.
That's what's up.
Hey, Jaden, you having a good trip?
You having a good trip?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much. Loke, thank you so much, man. Have a safe trip. Have a blessed trip, and thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Lorenzo, we would
No
love.
problem at all. I have to join.
Hey, listen, we would love when you get back, if you get a chance, we would love to get you on the podcast here in town. If you make your way through or something, we'll make some contact with you. We can bring you on.
Okay.
We'd love for you to tell some more of the stories about 14 and 15. But thank you so much from Love You Bro Podcast. Thank you for coming on tonight, bro.
Love you, bro.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll definitely connect once I get back on that side of the country, and like I say, we'll get together and make some stuff happen.
All right, Loke, thank you so much, brother, for coming on.
Thank you, my man. Enjoy.
All right, you guys take it easy.
All right.
Oh, man, appreciate it. Hey, guys, here at Love You Bro Podcast, we just want to be thanking our sponsors who make it possible for us to shoot our episodes. Had a fantastic episode tonight. Love You Bro Podcast brought on Royals favorite from 2014-15, Lorenzo Cain. So shout out to those guys. But here for our sponsors tonight, sponsoring tonight's show is our guys over at Rudy's, man. We love Rudy's. We got Rudy's in Westport at 1611 Westport Road over in KC. It's one of our favorite Mexican food restaurants in town. Obviously, we love our Mexican food, but Rudy's is one of our favorites. So Rudy Garcia Jr., all the Garcia family over there in Westport. Thank you guys. You see us in there at least once a week, once every other week. Back in the day when we did some stuff, Travis Kelce asked me one time what the favorite spot was, and Mexican food wise, and we had brought up Rudy's, and he has been a guest of theirs for the last several years there. And we also want to thank Tony Garcia, one of the other sons that's out in Lenexa. Tony, thank you for being a sponsor. Rudy's in Lenexa. It's a little bit bigger location. They're at 8710 Lackman Road in Lenexa, Kansas. And Tony Garcia and their family out there are running the Lenexa location. Started in Westport back in 1993 by Rudy Garcia Sr. And the Garcias have been personal friends of ours for a long, long time. We can't thank them enough for being sponsors of tonight's show. Rudy's in Westport, Rudy's in Lenexa. So Rudy and Tony Garcia, thank you to you guys. Thank you to the Garcia family. Without you guys, we couldn't make our Love You Bro podcast. So shout out to you guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys. All right, bro. So listen, man, what a great time we got to have with Loke Cain and being able to chop it up, man. He's on a family trip, and for him even to call in, bro, to take that time out, that's the type of love and stuff with guys, we built relationships with, and D-Bon. So D-Bon, shout out to you again, bro, for being on our show, but also helping us, man. Bring on the guys that
appreciate you, D-Bon.
Yeah, man.
It's all love, fam.
Guys that want to do it. So D-Bon, thank for that. Loke Cain, thank you for calling in from your family trip, bro. Can't thank you enough.
And my dude, Jaden looked clean, didn't he?
Yeah, Jaden was like,
he wanted to get some camera time. He looked good.
He did, man. So that was really, really good. But listen, bro, we gotta get into a little bit. I know we're all excited for the Royals, man. Bro, I mean, like you and I talked, I'm gonna be tonight. I'm not gonna sleep well, bro. I'm not gonna sleep well.
I will not. I will. For me, I'm like, it's like a kid on Christmas Eve. Like that shit it's so tight and it's so good. Chiefs 4-0, and we'll touch base right now. We're about to get into it,
I'm sorry. I mean, how many times in the last 5 years? How many times have we? It been like the Chiefs in a big playoff game, and it's like you're at your house and you're up at like 5:30 in the morning, and you're texting me like, "Bro, I can't sleep." I'm just sitting there looking up at the ceiling like, God, man, this game's not going to start till 3. We can't wait. It's the same thing with the baseball tomorrow. I just really truly hope Kansas City as a whole, Kansas City, we got the opportunity of a lifetime to embrace our Royals team, to embrace what we've got going on. We got Bobby Witt Jr., one of the biggest superstars in the game right now. I mean,
he won the 2024 American League batting title.
Hey, hell, batting title, man.
That shit
Hats
is
off to
like,
Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt, right on, brother. Bobby Witt Jr. Put this team on your back. But we're talking, I mean, people that we got to listen to us, family, friends, whatever. Man, embrace this. Every chance you get to go get postseason gear, watch the game with your kids, with your family, do it, because it's why we're doing this podcast now, because growing up, that's what we did every day. And the fact we get to do this and have fun talking about our favorite teams.
No, and it's like, and like you said, it's like if you, the fact that you get to do that and appreciate it and watch with your family, watch with your loved ones, whether it's moms and pops, you know, mom's is gone now, but dad watches every single game. But my little ones, like I will sit Minnie and Teddy in front of the TV and whatever Royals game or Chiefs game, you know, I got to watch it with them yesterday and they know how important it is. And that shit will just carry on of like, but it's so important, but it's about family, and Kansas City's about family.
Right.
You know,
100%.
Once again, Locain with his family coming on for the love and being like, hey, you know, I'm going to give you guys this time. Like, but it's what Kansas City's all about. But love, support, and we're blessed to live in this city. We're blessed to be in this time right now that the Chiefs are what we are.
Kansas City just has to embrace it, man. The Patrick Mahomes era, you know, 3 of the last, you know, 5 we go. 3 Super Bowl titles, and we got to embrace this Royals run right now, man. We got to get this city cranked up and get ready for some baseball, because I'm telling you, man, if Reagans goes and wins that game tomorrow, Baltimore's going to tighten up on Wednesday, and then we're going to have some fun with this. But let's get into a little bit, man. Let's get a little bit of this 4-0 start. We talked earlier this summer when we started the podcast, and people, you know, kept saying three-peat. And one of the things we talked about was the only thing that really derails this team is injuries.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of in that thing where we're getting slapped in the face. We've lost our one receiver. We lost Hollywood Brown. Now yesterday we go down. We don't know how serious it is yet, but it didn't look good.
Serious, so,
it did look good. It's probably a torn ACL. We're going to lose Rashee Rice. We lost Pacheco. You know, Hilaire will come back. But, you know, losing your 1 and 2 running back, losing your 1 and 2 wide receiver, I don't know another team in the NFL with a better coaching staff than ours and 15 and 87 that could be 4-0 right now. And it's not like we've beaten 4 slouches. I mean, we've beaten 4 teams that are relevant. Everybody, I mean, look at the Ravens yesterday. The Ravens put it on Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of makes our
that
win.
was everyone's darling was Buffalo, including mine. Like they looked every bit of the part, and Josh Allen looked every bit of the part. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, injuries happen, and that's what we're up against right now. And right now, there's a lot of things, you know, and there's some layers here to peel back. But you know, Patrick saying, hey, I'm not playing my best. There's some stuff going on with mechanics wise that he's not happy with. But you can see it. There's throws that he's made that have turned into turnovers that we aren't traditionally like accustomed to. And so it kind of goes to me to the Nagy part. Okay. Yeah. And so right now in 20 regular season games that Nagy's been a part of, Mahomes has 19 picks. So a thing that you can say and has been said is Nagy doesn't call the plays, right? So with that being said, so there has to be in all of our lives, all of our whatever their careers we're in, you have to have a responsibility for something.
Right.
So my thing is right now, if Nagy's not calling the plays, he's having trouble with his mechanics, and it's not me saying it. It's not Talking Head saying it. It's Patrick that said, I'm having trouble right now with his mechanics. Someone needs to get it right.
Is there a quarterback coach? Who's our quarterback coach?
Well, I mean, but
how's the quarterback coach not involved?
Right. And so I think it's a collective thing that, but it's like that's Nagy, who was the ex-QB. I mean, he was a QB in the league that needs to get them right. And it's like, it's a reset button. I don't know what it is that we hit with that, but we are 4-0. And once again, I've said that every episode we've had, you don't apologize for wins, but we got to get it right. And we got to get, you know, that situation buttoned up, because right now people have got to step up. And it's the biggest cliche in football, baseball, basketball. It's next man up, but we have to get him right. And he knows, like, once again, he said it. His mechanics
he's the first one to come out and say it and take. I mean, to me, that's a sign of a true leader. He's not pointing the fingers. He's not doing anything. He talks right off the bat of, we're 4-0, but I have to play better. I've got to throw the ball better. I've got to make better decisions. Patrick Mahomes is not a guy that's going to put any blame on anybody else but himself. But that's a leader. We talked about it a little bit last week. I told you when Belichick was like, man, the thing I love about this kid is he takes everything and puts it on his shoulders. He's not putting it on anybody else. And he's not sitting there going, he's not crying because we don't have the receivers or we don't have this, we don't have that. He knows his mentality is to be a leader in his team. And every time, what did Grundy say last week? Grundy said when Montana would step in the huddle, he said, we knew like we could do anything with him doing that. And 15's the same way.
Yeah.
He's not saying, hey, we don't have Hollywood here. We don't have Rashee here. I mean, yesterday he had to go find a way. I said this yesterday in our text thread with our family text thread. And I go back to Coach Tony Severino. Shout out to him and what he did during his days at Rockhurst, all the guys he coached and led. But his first thing he would put up on the board was FAWTW. He didn't care about anything else. He didn't want to hear excuses. He didn't want to hear, I can't do this. I couldn't make the tackle. I slipped in the mud. He would just say at the end of a Friday night, it's all about finding a way to win. Yeah. And I think just watching him say that, hearing that, that's what Reed's telling him. Reed's telling him, just find a way to win.
Yeah. And you know what? With all the haters and all the naysayers, because obviously and I remember this being, a Chiefs fan, everyone fucking hated the Patriots. Patriots did.
I hated the Patriots. I couldn't
see, me personally, I love Brady. Still love Brady. I love Hoodie. I love the Hoodie now. He is so much more full of personality and like he's able to talk and like he'll never go back to coaching, but his shit is like right. As far as like he can let his guard down and talk about it, but his love for Kansas City, love for like Mahomes it's what it is. But yesterday, Kelsey looked great. And no one doubt, like us close to it, we're never like, he's old, he's this, he's that. Kelsey just did his thing yesterday. And so I'm sitting there today and I'm with Minnie had her day off from school today. So I'm sitting there watching clips. I'm watching clips. And it was from 2 years ago or maybe even last year when people were doubting him. And it's after a Sunday night game. And I made Minnie do it. When Kelsey's like, I think I found my swagger back. Oh. So I was like, Minnie, do it. And she was doing it. So I was like, I'm trying to film her on phone. She's like, Dad, I won't do it. I'm like, got my swagger back. But I think he did. You already did that. But it's just, so you have to like, deal with what you got. So right now you have all these guys, Schefter, everyone, like they're going to make a deal for someone and they may or may not. I don't know at this point what they do, but the options they give. So for me personally, options you give, you break it down. Marty Cooper. I don't want to make that deal. Me personally don't want to make that deal. He's 30 years old, I think. The other one is DeAndre. He's kind of dealing with injuries right now. Tennessee's kind of a train wreck. They kind of suck. Right. The only guy that me personally, if they're going to make a deal and depending on what they have to give up, is Deontay Johnson. And I like Deontay Johnson in Pittsburgh. I think he's a guy that can move the needle.
Where's Deontay Johnson right now?
Carolina.
He's in Carolina. Listen, we talked again our text thread during the game yesterday. We talked a lot about, somebody was in our text thread. Someone was like, well, guys are going down. It's Mahomes' job to do what Brady did, what he was throwing, and he needs to make receivers better. That's what he did last year. We didn't have a good receiving core last year. We had guys dropping the ball all over the place. But again, 15 stepping up, and he's not pointing fingers. He's not blaming people. And what did he do? He had one of his, we say bad year during the regular season last year. We lost 3 or 4 games, whatever we lost. And he was taking it upon himself. But again, he takes them. He wins the Super Bowl. A guy we had let go and then brought back. McCole Hardman makes a game-winning touchdown in the end zone against the Niners. So I'm looking right now. I don't know if Veach is gonna. He's not gonna go get somebody just to get a name, to get a name that fans want. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like this week, no. Next week, no. But it depends because right now, and it's not. Once again, it's not shit talking. But right now, if Justin Watson is your best receiver, the receiver room right now tonight is worse than it was last year.
How do you figure that?
Because last year they had emerging Rashee Rice.
Okay.
And so this year you don't have.
But don't you think Juju Schuster and don't you think Xavier Worthy? I think Juju. If you're telling me right now, I'm sorry, but I'm taking Juju over Scantlin. I'll take Juju over Valdez Scantlin all day long. I know Valdez can get behind people, but he couldn't catch them all.
Yeah, no, you're right there. So my thing is, yesterday when I'm watching the game, I'm like, and once again, maybe I should get paid as a defensive coordinator. But if I am the Chargers, the last dude I'm letting beat me is Worthy.
But that's easier said than done.
It's not though. That guy can take the fucking top off. There's no one that can do that. Keep everything underneath. The fact that they had one-on-one coverage with him, like that's the only guy that can beat you on the field.
But it's easier said than done. It goes back to the old story that we used to talk about all the time. It's so much easier to be that armchair quarterback and being like, hey, this is what I would have put 2 guys on him. Like, okay, you go double up on Worthy. Who's to say that TK is not going to be the one getting open? I think it was one of those deals. They saw Worthy do the long touchdown, right? But the best thing they did was they ran that same play that they ran last week when everybody was like blaming Worthy because they're like, Worthy stopped. That wasn't even the case because Reed explained it was either Travis or Rashee that was the wrong route.
This was just a straight up 9. This was a straight up 9 fly route.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the one for the first down at the very end of the game. The one at the very end of the game on that first down. That first down, it's like, who are you going to double up? Who are you going to go on? They said they ran the exact same play that they ran last week when people were like, excuse me, there were people like, it was Worthy's fault because he stopped. Well, and that was when Reed was like, sorry guys, there was another one of our compadres that ran the wrong route. It wasn't Worthy's fault. And I think it was either Kelsey or Rashee that ran the wrong route. Yeah. And that's why Worthy saw it. And so he stopped because he didn't want to lead his guy into them. But yesterday, that thing cleared out. You're not chasing chasing Worthy from one sideline to the other sideline across. No, you see how wide open he was? Yeah, Mahomes just flipped it to him.
And back to that, like, bless Rashee and prayers up to him. Prayers
up for 4, man.
That guy was absolutely balling out. Like, I mean, you talk about a guy that
12 catches last week. 12.
I mean, yeah, and just a dog.
God, man, the way he was catching the ball in the opener against the Ravens, the way he was catching the ball and dudes were trying to arm tackle him and he was just busting through arm tackles and getting another 8, 10, 12 yards down the field. I just hate to see it, man. Prayers up for Rashee.
Yeah, speedy recovery,
I'm blessed to do a little bit of work with him. So I did reach out earlier this morning. I didn't want to bother him, but I did send a text to his family and just say, "Hey, man, we're thinking about 4 and saying prayers for him, man."
And once again, when it comes to that shit is bigger than football, and it'll always be for me personally. It's like I don't want to see anyone hurt, sick.
No, like, even on the other teams, we don't want to see anybody hurt, injured and out. These kids work too hard. They spend too much time going through high school, going through college, going through everything to get to this point in their career. So when you see a guy lose a season, you know how hard it is because a lot of guys don't get to play 8, 10, 12 years. No. A lot of guys' career is shorter. So if you lose that year to 1 year of injury, so it sucks. And it's going to be interesting to see what Veach dials up, what Reed dials up right now with what we have. But I mean, we got the Saints coming in on Monday night.
That's a big game. And I on a positive light of what happened yesterday in the game, obviously Chris Jones is the best person. He's the best player outside of 15. And right now you could say he's better than 15 in what he's done. He has been an absolute dog.
He knows when to turn it up, doesn't he?
Oh, dude. He throws bitches around like it's fucking Little League. He's like, get your, when Chris Tucker and Friday comes out, it's like, get off me.
Like Debo wakes up. It's like he has one lineman always, the guard or whatever comes up and comes up and starts to block him, and you see somebody else, like you said, he's got one guy and he's got throwing him over this way, and he's trying to throw this guy over that way.
If we're blessed to get,
I'm gonna reach out to 95. 95 knows I'm gonna reach out to him.
Cold, I gotta ask him about his shoulder pads because he plays with these little ass shoulder pads, man. That I'm like, punters didn't wear those things, and it doesn't even bother him. He just goes and does his thing.
Yeah, we got to ask. We got to ask. But hopefully we'll be blessed to bring him on one of our shows and bring Chris on.
But it's what it is, bro. You got to go. The Saints will. But what I was saying back to the positive is Kareem had some get up.
Listen,
Kareem had some get up.
He's got something to prove, and it sucked when he missed out on that end of that season. We wanted to win that Super Bowl because remember at that point he was already up over 1,100 yards. He was the most
dominant running back in the game.
He was up over 1,100 yards. He already had like 17, 18 touchdowns when that happened. He might have ended up with over 20 TDs and 1,400 yards
easily. And yesterday I was reading some stuff today on Pro Football Focus. He reached 16 mile an hour twice yesterday. He never did that last year his entire. So I think he's got a lot of like wants to redemption for his own self.
He's hungry.
Has nothing to do with you, me, or he has something for himself. And like I said, he just had get up and he had Boogie's first carry was 9 yards. I'm like, whoa. And then I think he finished with 60 something.
And then he had like 16. He was up over like 91 yards, I think, total, receiving and rushing. But he looks hungry, which is great for us because I think if we get, they said Hilaire's going to be back in the lineup this week. I feel bad for Carson Steele, but Carson, I mean, one thing you know about this organization and Coach Reed does not like it when people put the ball on the turf, man. And I mean, it's not that they're going to cut him or anything like that, but he's gonna lose some opportunities with those carries.
Well,
as good as Hunt looked.
But once again, and not negative and not talking shit, but if he might be cut. That's real talk. Well,
Samaje Perine looks good too. I think Perine looks hungry,
if you got Hilaire, Perine, and Hunt, then there's not a spot for a fourth running back, and he won't make it through if they do. So it's a big decision they have to make.
Because he won't make it. There's somebody will pick him up like that for sure.
He won't make it. But that's once again, I don't care if you're 8th grade Pop Warner or you're obviously NFL. You can't
put the ball on the turf, man. You can't put the ball on the turf.
It was after Kelsey's big catch for 44 yards.
I think it was 38 yards down the sideline to TK, which was awesome. But I love the 1-2 punts with Samaje Perine yesterday and with Kareem Hunt. Like I said, Kareem looks hungry. Samaje Perine, he looks hungry, man, because I think when he was running the ball, when he was a great
year in Denver last year for what he does.
When he was going against Cincinnati, you could just tell he had that chip on his shoulder of like, I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm going to go win me a Super Bowl. But Perine looked good. Kareem looked good. Hilaire. And remember last year when Hilaire wasn't the main bell cow, the main dude, with all the carries, he looked good down the stretch. Yeah. He played big for us against Buffalo in the playoffs.
And with him, once again, what he's gone through and what he's going through, it's bigger than football. It's bigger than anything.
For sure.
He's got to be right and feel right. And the organization will be so patient, like what he needs to do to be right. And that's just with his mentals.
It's a Tua type deal, isn't it? It's a Tua type deal where Tua, man, you love watching the kid play, but it's bigger than football. You don't want some kid going out that, later on in life can't be with his kids, can't raise his kids, and has, all the CT stuff.
It was something that we were touched with. It was, what happened at the parade. He was part of it. He was so close to it. And it's like, that's something he's had to deal with. And it's, so wish him health. And if he's back, wonderful. He'll be back and he'll be ready to roll. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this week rolls out. But I love, and I think it's I like to look at the glass half full, and with all this stuff that's going on and everyone's saying they're done. It's more fuel for the people in that locker room to say, you know what? Everyone's doubting us. So it's not like they're like
right now because we've lost everybody?
Yeah.
I'd say one thing. There's nobody in the NFL that's feeling sorry for us right now. I can tell you that.
No,
I can tell you that right now.
There's no one. But like you look at the Niners. The Niners are banged up, and like there's people that are banged up. But we're about as banged up as we've ever been facing this.
If these guys go, bro, and they finish up strong, we get some guys back or whatever, and 15 leads this team to another Super Bowl. I'm sorry if not. If you haven't already for the back-to-back Super Bowl titles. They go and three-peat with what the adversity and stuff they're facing right now. Bro, they've got to go down as one of the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Top 2 or 3 ever.
Bro, if they win.
The only team to ever three-peat.
If they some way find a way to win this year, it's not even top 5. It's the greatest team in the history of football. No one's ever three-peated. There's no even comparison. There's no one that's ever.
When you say that, I think like right now, like I'm in the middle of this dream of like, I need to pinch myself. You're like, if we win this three-peat, we could go down as one of the greatest teams.
No, it is the greatest. It's
the
not
greatest
even
team
one of them. It's the greatest
ever to do it. And, us, growing up in the 70s and 80s, I'm aging us, but growing up in the 70s and 80s, we were those goofy kids that every year we got up and Liberty and saw them play. We'd be like, this is our year. We're gonna do it. And gosh, we were so far away, but being able to endure and embrace everything we've got going on now, man, I mean, you just got to love what we're doing in Kansas City. Like I said, you've got this coaching staff, you've got Andy Reid. What a blessing that we have, the staff. We've got 15, we've got 87.
Leadership within that building,
right.
Yeah. The leadership within that building, they're not going to let anyone, let anything fall too far down. It's tough, though. And it's tough. I can't even imagine seeing for in his position he's in. And as a teammate, it's hard not to hurt for him.
Of course.
But they had the leadership in the building to pick him up. And like I said, it broke my heart, man, because I saw it and I'm like, that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
And
you can see it on the sideline.
When
you saw
he put the towel over his head and he was on the gator and he's getting pulled off. It's like,
You saw the players' faces for sure.
It was tough. But you know what, man? Let's go. Big week, man. Big week. We got Royals tomorrow. Next 3 days.
Yeah.
Let's find a way, man. Find a way and fucking bring on the fucking Yanks. Bring on the evil empire.
Man,
and that fucking.
I'm gonna take this thing one game at a time. I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. I'm gonna be searching when I get home on MLB.com, trying to order my 2024.
You want a pre-roll? Help you sleep?
No, bro. I'm good, man. Thank you. I'm good.
You straight?
I'm straight, man.
All right, let's straight.
All I want to do tonight is get on MLB, try to find my 2024 postseason.
You're
hat.
still smiling.
I have. No, man. I'm good, bro. I'll get some sleep tonight. I'll figure out a way to get
Monday
some
night,
sleep.
man. Let's go get him Monday night. Find a way. We got an extra day to prepare and let's go do it.
Monday Night Saints, man. But listen, what a great episode that we were blessed to do tonight. Thanks again. Shout out, man. Shout out to Lorenzo Cain. We know you're on a family trip, brother. But thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Bro, Royals baseball the next 3 days. Hopefully it's the next 2 and we just finish off that series and get ready for the Yanks. We got the Saints Monday night. So again, man, we'll figure out what we're gonna do, man. We got some stuff going on.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks.